The rescue of Bert had transformed Temujin's reputation across the Mongolian steppe. No longer was he merely the orphan who had survived abandonment, hunger, and captivity. Now, warriors began riding to his camp from distant tribes. Some came seeking opportunity. Others admired his courage. Many simply believed that fortune favored the young leader who had overcome every hardship placed before him. But with every new ally Temujin gained, someone else grew uneasy. That man was ****. Once the two had called each other ****, brothers bound not by blood but by sacred oath. Together they had hunted across the endless grasslands. Together they had dreamed of the future. Together they had fought to rescue Bert from the Merkids. Yet as the years passed, their paths slowly drifted apart. The difference was not simply personal, it was ideological. Jamaka believed that leadership belonged to the ancient noble families of the steppe. To him, birth determined authority. The old tribal system had existed for generations, and he believed it should remain unchanged. Temujin saw the world differently. He cared little about noble ancestry, a shepherd who fought bravely, a hunter who proved loyal, or a warrior who demonstrated skill, could earn promotion regardless of his family's status. For ordinary people, this was a revolutionary idea. Many who had spent their entire lives beneath the authority of powerful clans suddenly found hope. If loyalty and ability mattered more than noble blood, then anyone could rise, slowly. The balance of power across Mongolia began to shift. Small clans that had long feared stronger tribes started joining Temujin. Experienced warriors left traditional leaders and pledged themselves to him instead. Every new arrival strengthened his growing coalition. Jamaka watched carefully. To him, Temujin's success threatened the very foundation of Mongol society. The friendship between the two men gradually faded. Conversations became arguments. Respect turned into suspicion. Eventually, the bond of ***** could no longer survive. The brothers became rivals. Across the steppe, tribal chiefs realized they would soon be forced to choose a side. Some remained loyal to Jamaka. Others declared their support for Temujin. The peaceful competition for influence slowly transformed into preparation for war. Around *1187***, the conflict finally erupted. Temujin gathered his followers and rode toward Jamaka's territory. Across the open grasslands, two growing armies prepared to face one another. It was one of the earliest major confrontations between the future ruler of the Mongols and the man who had once been his closest friend. The battlefield lay somewhere upon the vast Mongolian steppe. There were no towering castles, no fortified cities, only endless plains where speed, discipline, and horsemanship would decide the outcome. Both armies relied heavily on mounted archers. Every warrior carried several bows, arrows, and spare horses. Mobility was everything. The battle began beneath an open sky. Mounted archers raced across the plains, releasing arrows while riding at incredible speed. Small cavalry units attempted to surround isolated groups of enemy warriors. Dust rose into the air as thousands of horses thundered across the grasslands. For hours, neither side gained a decisive advantage. Then, Jamaka revealed why he had become one of the most respected commanders on the steppe. Using superior coordination, he lured portions of Temujin's army into unfavorable positions before launching powerful counterattacks. The carefully organized assault shattered sections of Temujin's line. Warriors who had never before fought such a large battle struggled to maintain formation. Confusion spread quickly. Temujin attempted to rally his men. He rode across the battlefield, encouraging retreating warriors to stand and fight. But the momentum had already shifted. One position after another collapsed. Eventually, the young leader was forced to order a retreat. It was a painful defeat. For the first time since beginning his rise, Temujin had suffered a major military setback. Many leaders would have seen such a loss as the end. Temujin treated it differently. Instead of blaming his followers, he studied every mistake. He examined why Jamaka's tactics had succeeded. He listened to experienced warriors who had survived the battle. Failure became his teacher. Meanwhile, Jamaka celebrated his victory. But what happened afterward shocked many across Mongolia. According to several historical accounts, Jamaka ordered an unusually brutal punishment for captured enemy commanders. Some sources claim they were executed in horrific fashion as a warning to anyone considering loyalty to Temujin. Although historians debate the precise details, the story spread rapidly across the steppe. Fear followed, but so did resentment. Many tribal leaders believed such cruelty violated the traditions of honorable leadership. Even warriors who had not supported Temujin began questioning Jamaka's judgment. Temujin noticed the change. Rather than seeking immediate revenge, he remained patient. He focused on rebuilding. He strengthened alliances. He improved discipline within his growing army. Most importantly, he continued rewarding ability over family status. Every victory, every defeat, every betrayal, every hardship was shaping him into something greater than an ordinary tribal chief. The young orphan who had once searched rivers for fish and forests for berries was slowly becoming a statesman, a commander, and a visionary. He no longer dreamed merely of protecting his own family. He imagined something almost no one else believed possible. A single Mongolia, not dozens of rival tribes, but one united nation for centuries. The steppe had been divided by blood feuds, revenge, and endless competition. Temujin believed those divisions could end. Many dismissed the idea as impossible. Others quietly began believing. Across the grasslands, more warriors continued arriving at his camp. Some had witnessed Jamaka's harsh rule. Others admired Temujin's fairness. The defeated leader who had once seemed finished was becoming stronger than before. Jamaka had won the battle, but the struggle for the future of Mongolia was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. Jamaka had won the battle, but he had not won the future. Across the Mongolian steppe, the news of Temujin's defeat spread quickly. Some tribal leaders believed his rise had finally come to an end. Others quietly waited. They had watched the young warrior survive too many impossible situations before. His story was far from over. Unlike many defeated commanders, Temujin refused to disappear into bitterness. He understood that losing one battle did not mean losing the war. Instead of seeking immediate revenge, he returned to his camp and began rebuilding. He spoke with surviving warriors. He asked what had gone wrong. He studied every mistake made on the battlefield. Every lesson mattered. Temujin realized that courage alone could never unite the steppe. His followers needed discipline. They needed organization. And above all, they needed trust. One by one, he reorganized his growing army. Rather than placing noblemen in command simply because of their family names, he promoted warriors who had proven themselves through loyalty and skill. Some were experienced hunters. Others had once been poor herdsmen. A few had even belonged to rival tribes before joining him. To Temujin, none of that mattered. Only merit did. This approach surprised many across Mongolia. For generations, powerful families had controlled leadership. Now an orphan was changing the rules. Not everyone approved. Some tribal chiefs called him reckless. Others accused him of destroying ancient traditions. But ordinary warriors saw something different. For the first time, they believed that bravery and hard work could earn respect. As months passed, more riders arrived at Temujin's camp. Entire families chose to leave old alliances behind. Small clans that had once lived in fear of stronger tribes now sought his protection. His camp expanded across the grasslands. More horses filled the valleys. More jurs appeared with every passing season. The defeated commander was quietly becoming stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Jamaka watched these developments with growing concern. Victory on the battlefield had not stopped Temujin's influence. Instead, it seemed to make him even more determined. Jamaka knew that if nothing changed, many more tribes would eventually join his former friend. The rivalry between the two leaders became impossible to ignore. Across Mongolia, nearly every tribe was forced to make a choice. Would they support the traditional nobility represented by Jamaka, or the rising reformer named Temujin? The steppe slowly divided into two competing worlds. Around this same period, another powerful figure entered the struggle. Togrul, the ruler of the Karate tribe, remained one of the most influential leaders in Mongolia. Years earlier, he had helped Temujin rescue Berk. For a time, the alliance between the two men appeared strong. Together, they defeated common enemies. Together, they expanded their influence. Many believed Togrul would always remain Temujin's greatest ally, but politics on the steppe rarely remained simple. As Temujin's reputation continued growing, jealousy quietly spread within the Kharat leadership. Several advisors warned Togrul that the young warrior might eventually become too powerful. Some feared Temujin would one day replace him. Others deliberately spread rumors to create distrust between the allies. At first, Togrul ignored them. He remembered Temujin as the loyal son of his old friend Yesujay, but constant whispers slowly changed his thinking. The alliance that had once seemed unbreakable began showing signs of strain. Temujin sensed the change immediately. He understood how quickly friendships could disappear on the steppe. He had experienced betrayal before. He refused to allow it to destroy everything he had built. Instead of relying on a single powerful ally, he strengthened relationships with many smaller tribes. Each new alliance reduced his dependence on any one leader. It was a strategy that would later become one of his greatest strengths. At the same time, Temujin introduced stricter rules inside his own camp. Stealing from fellow warriors became a serious crime. Loyalty was rewarded generously. Disobedience was punished fairly, regardless of social status. For perhaps the first time, many people living on the Mongolian steppe experienced a leader who applied the same laws to both nobles and commoners. The effect was remarkable. Trust grew. Warriors fought harder because they believed they would be treated fairly. Families felt safer joining his camps. Even defeated enemies sometimes chose to serve under Temujin rather than return to their former chiefs. His army became more than a collection of tribes. It slowly transformed into a unified force. Every passing year increased the contrast between the two rivals. Jamaka relied upon ancient customs and noble birth. Temujin relied upon loyalty, discipline, and ability. One represented the old Mongolia. The other represented a new future. The conflict between them could no longer be avoided soon. The struggle would become larger than a personal rivalry. It would decide who would lead every tribe across the endless grasslands. Only one vision could survive. Only one leader would emerge, and before long, the name Temujin would begin disappearing from history, a new title. One that would echo across continents for centuries, was about to be born. Temujin's influence continued to grow. With every passing season, more tribes abandoned old rivalries and rode beneath his banner. Warriors who had once fought against one another now stood side by side. For generations, such unity had seemed impossible. But Temujin was proving that the impossible could become reality. Still, not everyone accepted his rise. Several powerful tribal leaders feared losing their independence. Others believed no single man should rule all the Mongols. Among them, Jamaka remained Temujin's greatest rival. Determined to stop him once and for all, Jamaka worked to unite the remaining opposition. Old enemies became temporary allies. Proud chiefs who had spent decades fighting each other now joined forces against a common threat. They believed that if Temujin was not stopped now, he never would be. War became inevitable. Across the endless Mongolian steppe, thousands of horsemen prepared for another great conflict. This time, the stakes were far greater than personal revenge. The future of Mongolia itself hung in the balance. Temujin had learned from every defeat. His army was no longer an alliance held together by hope alone. It had become disciplined, organized, and remarkably loyal. His commanders understood their responsibilities. Messengers carried orders rapidly across the battlefield. Small cavalry units worked together with precision. Every warrior knew exactly where he belonged. Years of hardship had transformed Temujin into more than a survivor. He had become a master organizer when the armies finally met. The fighting was fierce. Mounted archers filled the sky with arrows. Horsemen charged across the open plains. Dust clouds swallowed entire formations. The thunder of thousands of hooves echoed across the steppe. For hours, neither side gave ground easily. But gradually, Temujin's superior organization began making the difference. His commanders coordinated attacks with remarkable discipline. Reserve forces arrived exactly where they were needed. Enemy formations slowly began breaking apart, one after another. The coalition opposing Temujin collapsed. Many tribal chiefs surrendered, others fled across the grasslands. Some changed sides before the battle had even ended. Jamaka escaped, but his influence had been shattered, for the first time in generations. Most of the Mongol tribes recognized a single dominant leader. Temujin had achieved what countless chiefs before him had failed to accomplish: unity. The years of betrayal, hunger, loss, captivity, and war had led to this moment. In *1206*, tribal leaders gathered beside the banks of the *Anan River for a great Kurultai *. The traditional assembly where the future of the nation would be decided. Chiefs arrived from every direction. Thousands of horses covered the surrounding plains. White felt tents stretched across the valley. The atmosphere was unlike anything Mongolia had witnessed before for perhaps the first time. Most of the steppes stood together. The assembled leaders discussed the future. There were disagreements, questions, concerns, but one conclusion became impossible to ignore. No other leader had united so many tribes. No other commander had earned such loyalty. No other man had survived so many impossible trials. Finally, the decision was made. Temujin would no longer be known simply by the name given to him at birth, before the gathered tribes. He received a new title, Genghis Khan. Historians still debate the exact meaning of the title. Some interpret it as universal ruler. Others believe it means oceanic ruler or Great Khan. Whatever its precise translation. Its significance was unmistakable. A new nation had been born, and Genghis Khan stood at its head, yet the ceremony marked not an ending, but a beginning. Immediately after becoming Great Khan, he began reshaping Mongol society. The endless cycle of tribal feuds had weakened the steppe for centuries. Genghis intended to end it forever. He reorganized the army using a strict decimal system, units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 warriors. This structure ignored tribal origins. Men from different clans now served together. Their loyalty belonged not to individual chiefs, but to the Great Khan. Promotion depended on courage and ability, not noble birth. Discipline became absolute. Cowardice during battle carried severe punishment, but bravery received extraordinary rewards. He also established new laws that later became known as the ****. Although historians debate exactly how much of the code survives today, its purpose was clear: to create order where chaos had once ruled. Theft was punished, disobedience was discouraged, loyal service was honored, merchants received protection, messengers traveled safely across the growing nation. Slowly, the divided tribes began thinking of themselves not as rivals, but as one people, the Mongols. Genghis Khan understood something few rulers had recognized before him. A nation could not survive through fear alone. It required justice, discipline, opportunity, and shared purpose. The orphan abandoned on the steppe had become the most powerful man in Mongolia, but beyond the eastern mountains, beyond the great deserts, beyond the mighty walls of China, powerful kingdoms remained unaware of what had just happened to them. The Mongols were still scattered nomads. They did not yet realize that a united empire had risen in the heart of Asia soon. Its horsemen would begin riding beyond Mongolia, and the world would never be the same. Mongol tribes were finally united for the first time in centuries. The endless rivalries of the steppe had been replaced by a single banner. Temujin, now known as Genghis Khan had achieved what countless leaders before him believed impossible, but peace was never his final destination. A united Mongolia solved one problem. It also created another. Thousands of skilled warriors now served under one ruler. They needed purpose, they needed resources, and above all, they needed opportunities that the harsh Mongolian steppe could no longer provide. The grasslands were vast, but they could not support an ever-growing nation forever. To the south lay powerful kingdoms, rich cities, busy trade routes, and enormous wealth. Among them stood the kingdom of **Western Xia**, situated along the Silk Road, Western Xia controlled valuable trade passing between China and Central Asia. Its rulers believed the Mongols were still little more than scattered nomadic tribes. They underestimated the new empire rising beyond their northern frontier. In **1209**, Genghis Khan made his move. Thousands of Mongol horsemen crossed into Western Xia territory. Unlike many armies of the time, the Mongols traveled with astonishing speed. Each warrior rode several horses, allowing them to change mounts during long journeys. While enemy armies often slowed because of heavy supplies, the Mongols remained fast, flexible, and unpredictable. Their strategy depended on movement instead of attacking directly whenever possible. They surrounded enemies, cut supply routes, destroyed communication, and attacked where defenders least expected. The rulers of Western Xia prepared for battle. Fortified cities closed their gates. Soldiers gathered along defensive positions. Many believed the walls would stop the invaders. But Genghis Khan understood something important. Victory did not always require destroying a city. Sometimes, patience achieved more than force. The Mongols surrounded several strongholds, preventing supplies from entering. Food gradually became scarce. Morale declined. Pressure increased with every passing week. During the campaign, Genghis Khan encountered another challenge. Unlike the open grasslands of Mongolia, Western Xia contained heavily fortified cities. The Mongols had little experience attacking massive stone walls. Rather than giving up, they learned. Captured engineers were ordered to demonstrate new siege techniques. Chinese and Central Asian specialists taught the Mongols how to build powerful siege machines, catapults, scaling equipment, and other weapons previously unfamiliar to steppe warriors. Genghis Khan believed that knowledge was as valuable as victory. If an enemy possessed useful skills, he preferred learning from them rather than destroying them. This willingness to adapt became one of his greatest strengths. Eventually, the rulers of Western Xia realized continued resistance was becoming impossible. Instead of risking complete destruction, they accepted peace. The kingdom agreed to recognize Genghis Khan's authority. It also promised tribute and military support. The victory brought more than wealth. It gave the Mongols confidence for generations. The nomads of the steppe had feared powerful neighboring kingdoms. Now, one of those kingdoms had submitted to them. But Genghis Khan had no intention of stopping there. To the southeast stood an even greater challenge. The mighty Jin Dynasty The Jin ruled much of northern China. Their empire possessed enormous cities, millions of people, sophisticated armies, and defensive fortifications unlike anything the Mongols had ever faced. Many believed no nomadic force could defeat such a civilization. Genghis Khan disagreed. In *1211*, Mongol armies crossed the frontier into Jin territory. The campaign would become one of the most important wars in Asian history. The Jin commanders expected traditional raids. Instead, they encountered something entirely different. The Mongols struck with remarkable coordination. Separate cavalry forces attacked multiple locations simultaneously. Enemy commanders struggled to predict where the next assault would occur. Villages surrendered. Military outposts fell. Important roads disappeared beneath waves of mounted warriors. Even when outnumbered, the Mongols found ways to gain the advantage. One of their greatest weapons was deception. Retreats were often fake. Enemy soldiers believed victory was within reach and began pursuing the fleeing cavalry. Then, without warning, the Mongols turned around. Fresh horsemen appeared from hidden positions. The pursuers suddenly found themselves surrounded. This tactic destroyed countless enemy armies. The Jin soon realized they faced an opponent unlike any they had fought before. Genghis Khan also relied heavily upon intelligence. Scouts traveled far ahead of the main army. Merchants provided information about roads and cities. Captured prisoners revealed enemy positions. Nothing was left to chance. Every campaign was carefully planned long before the first arrow was fired. As the war continued, several Jin cities fell one after another. Some resisted fiercely. Others surrendered peacefully after witnessing Mongol victories elsewhere. Genghis Khan often offered cities a choice: open your gates, and resist until the end. and faced destruction, many governors quickly understood which option offered the better future. With every success, the reputation of the Mongols spread farther across Asia. Travelers carried astonishing stories of horsemen who seemed to appear from nowhere, stories of armies capable of crossing impossible distances, stories of a ruler whose discipline transformed scattered tribes into an unstoppable force. Fear became one of Genghis Khan's greatest allies. Sometimes, entire cities surrendered before battle even began. The psychological impact of his victories proved almost as powerful as the victories themselves. Yet despite these successes, Genghis Khan remained focused. He knew larger challenges still awaited him, far beyond China, across deserts, mountains, and great rivers lay kingdoms wealthier than any he had yet encountered. Among them stood one empire whose rulers would soon make a decision that changed history forever. A single act of arrogance, a single deadly mistake, would unleash one of the greatest military campaigns the world had ever seen. The Mongols were no longer simply conquering neighboring kingdoms. They were preparing to reshape the map of Eurasia itself.